So hey, this is Justin McCullough with Capital One Spark Business, and we are at Small Business Festival. I'm here with Madison Wickham. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, yeah, thanks for having me. So my name is Madison Wickham. I'm founder and CEO of a company called Grandex Media, and we own and operate a number of entertainment digital media brands, as well as a couple consumer product retail e-commerce brands.
All right, so that's a lot there. Digital entertainment,
Yes.
consumer brands, retail.
Yes.
Let's pick one of those and talk about it.
Sure, let's do it.
How do you actually handle the retail side of the business?
So our retail business is actually divided into two different kind of lines of business. So we do have a wholesale component where products that we design, source, and manufacture under our clothing brand, Rowdy Gentleman, we sell to third-party brick-and-mortar retailers. But our primary business is selling directly to consumers online. So we sell the products that we create at rowdygentleman.com. And then we also sell them through our online specialty men's store, which is called manoutfitters.com.
Okay.
And so Man Outfitters is essentially, as I mentioned, it's an online specialty men's retail store where we carry products from 80 different premium menswear brands that you probably have heard of: Patagonia, Cole Haan, Sperry, Vineyard Vines, all mashed up with smaller up-and-coming brands that are kind of lesser known that create a really cool merchandise offering. So
Yeah, so you're kind of in the pulse of the market, right? What's hot? You're in the middle of it, I guess.
what's hot? Yeah, I'm in the fashion industry,
Yeah.
I guess.
So who's your customer? Help us understand a little bit about who you're
Sure.
selling to and who you're working with.
So that's where it gets kind of interesting with the particular business model that we've happened into, I would say, versus I'd say somewhat mastermind, but also it's kind of evolved over time. We started the company 7 years ago with a comedy website called TotalFratMove.com. Based on the name, you can probably gather who that content is for. College frat guys, for those not keeping up. So that was an idea for a specific type of comedy content that we felt wasn't being done the way we wanted to do it. Yeah. And kind of based on the premise that anytime you see a frat guy depicted in a comedy movie out of Hollywood, it's always some very inauthentic Hollywood rendition of what some LA producer thinks a frat guy actually is, and it just becomes this like weird character that's not really, it's not going to hit home with guys who kind of like went through that whole experience in college. And it's a really interesting breeding ground for comedy, because you get a bunch of 20-year-olds and you stuff them into a mansion in the middle of campus, and they pool their parents' money together and buy a bunch of alcohol. And it's this thing that goes on college campuses across the country. It makes no sense, but it's hilarious. And I went through it, and some of the guys I work with went through it, and it's just like this. It's like I said, it's a breeding ground for comedy. So we decided to kind of bottle that up into a very digestible one-liner format, and that became Total Frat Move, hashtag TFM. So it'd be a one-liner followed by that, and then it's kind of evolved into a broader content offering. And then we've spun off postgradproblems.com, which is also kind of self-explanatory. And essentially, what we've developed is a media company that monetizes not in the traditional way that you would expect a media company to monetize their business, which is advertising is the typical model. We do some third-party advertising, but the core of our model is entertain an audience, cultivate the attention of a large audience through original media, and instead of just selling that audience to third parties and taking a fee and being done with it, we're actually creating and curating products for that audience that we're catering to on the media side. So it's essentially like a creative way to stuff the top of our marketing funnel, I guess is one way to put it.
Yeah, so what I'm hearing is a seed idea around entertainment was something that was personal and you connected with the frat house, right, on campus, and relating to that, and the exaggerated character or persona of fraternity guys in the media, and repositioning that, leading to from entertainment to now a fashion business and a thriving audience, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So what does that look like in the beginning when you're saying, I think this is interesting versus I think this is a business? How do you go from interesting to a business with a concept like that?
So I mentioned that we kind of evolved into the model that we're now operating under. When we started the company, I was 25, and I had a little knowledge of business in general, let alone the media industry. And to be honest, I didn't even realize that we were starting a media business. I knew the internet. My background's in web development, so I knew websites and I knew kind of how to make them. And this was a simple enough website to really, it was the thing driving us was, this is a really like differentiated type of content that's going to strongly resonate with this niche audience. And from a business perspective, we had a really ambiguous business model, but it was essentially, we're going to use this content to capture a large enough audience to then figure out how to monetize it. I knew we could throw ads up, but we always kind of left it open-ended. Like, once we have the attention of an audience, then there's all sorts of things we can do to build a business around that audience.
So I want to close this out with a core idea. If you're in that kind of business and you're in sort of a startup mode like you guys were back then, how do you finance this? How do you pull it together and actually bring that vision to life?
We bootstrapped from the very beginning. Like I said, my background's in web development, and my co-founder, who I started it with, he kind of ran the content, and I was doing the web development and kind of business development stuff. And we just kept it super lean. I mean, we started it when we were working other jobs. About 4 months in, we decided to dive in full time, and even then, it was kind of racking up personal credit card debt and depleting savings, and just kind of pulling all the resources that we could kind of round up to try to get to a point where the company was cash flowing, and we actually, because we kept expenses so lean, and the two of us were kind of doing everything ourselves, we were able to get to that point pretty quickly, just purely with like simple Google ad revenue. And then from there, it was just this process of continuing to reinvest, and and then we eventually did raise some equity, and working with banks and whatnot. So it's it's been a journey, and we're still inventory business. We're always trying to figure out the financing aspects of it. So.
Yeah, well, great. Thanks for sharing that. In 7 years, you've gone from an idea entertainment business, you didn't know anything about entertainment, to now a full-on fashion business with an e-commerce arm and retail locations. So what an amazing journey in 7 years, and you did it bootstrapped. Thank you for sharing your story with us today. Madison, thank you. I'm Justin, and this is Small Business Festival.